the Danes can say all they want that they don't want this to happen. But I go back to what we talked about on round one of this, which is if the people of Greenland don't want to be aligned with the U.S., it can't happen. And so that trip that Don Jr. took, like they need more of that. It seems to me
Yeah.
they need more of winning the hearts and minds of the Greenlanders,
Yeah, but
right?
even if what you and Matt are saying is true, I mean, at the end of the day, this is dangerous rhetoric and dangerous leverage to have. I mean, this is no way for a president of the United States of America, someone who wants to be the world superpower superstar, to act. And so even if he is lying through his teeth and using leverage, it's just a stupid thing to say and a stupid thing to do. And I don't think the president or Stephen Miller should continue to perpetuate that.
Okay, so we always want to differentiate, Haim. I take your point between what is and what ought to be. And I know you're saying this isn't the way it should be. But what is, and we saw this over the weekend, the president just wants gangsta foreign policy. He just wants to threaten people. He wants to say, what's mine is mine and what's yours we'll negotiate over. And so we can decry it, but that's the foreign policy now of this administration. And if he makes idle threats or serious threats, it's up to the people who are being threatened to decide. Again, I'm not endorsing gangster foreign policy. I'm just saying that's what we have now, and nobody can stop him. There's no one in the administration who wants to stop him. The Hill can't stop him, but he's not. I love the Politico story that said the U.S. military could take the capital of Greenland in 30 minutes with a couple helicopters.
They're doing our bidding. It is so,
Yes,
and like
yes.
and also like specifically and with respect, time like specifically right now, what is dangerous right now about what is happening right now?
Thank you. That's the question. What is dangerous about it?
I
He's
mean,
just being
the fact that we're having this conversation about a NATO ally is dangerous. The fact that the
Wow.
president just went down to Venezuela and granted, I'm no Maduro fan. I'm not gonna say he should have left in Venezuela, but the fact that he went down and kidnapped the president and his wife, I mean, these are dangerous tactics as an
But Matt,
ensemble.
but Matt and
Let me
I,
let me
I'm sorry, I'm sorry to interrupt, but Matt and I want to know what's dangerous. What's in danger?
Well, if the danger part is if you're having this conversation about a NATO ally, and when we're going to Europe and trying to have conversations about saving Ukraine and ending a war in Russia and preparing for what's going to be a really tough 5, 10 years with China, that's why it's dangerous. This is a conversation that is leaving America in a place of vulnerability when we're talking about our other allies. So and it's an unnecessary conversation.
So
We
you
can go
think
into Greenland and have an adult conversation about minerals, about partnership, about leveraging what we've already established together. But there's no need for a deranged Donald Trump and a deranged Stephen Miller to go on TV every day and threaten to take Greenland. I mean, there's no benefit
Well,
of it.
but if we have a simple conversation, we go to the Danes and say, "Hey, we'd like a piece of that." They'll say no.
yeah. I
Oh,
guess my
great. I
point
mean,
is
I
so
mean
like
that,
you
that's
you
that's
but
that's
you but
part of
you
that's part
think
of that's part of diplomacy. I mean, this has been something that we've dealt with since time has existed. And so, just because the Danes are saying no doesn't mean that that's not worth having a full conversation. I mean, look what's going on in Ukraine. Russia is taking more of Ukraine every single day. That should be the priority of the conversation, not taking Greenland for a couple minerals. I mean, that's just we're wasting time by having that conversation, and that's
so
dangerous.
I guess to put a button on it. So you think, and I'm not trying to put words in your mouth, so help me out here. So you think though that by kind of talking tough on Greenland, the Europeans are going to turn away from us when it comes to Ukraine and
We're
Russia?
not we're not talking tough on Greenland. We're threatening to take Greenland away. That's so Matt. So
We're
don't no.
talking, we're
I
talking.
mean, we're not talking tough. We're talking
Yeah, we
about
are.
taking a sovereign
That's
country.
tough talk.
And so like and the fact that we're talking about this more than we're talking about tariffs and costs, I'm so annoyed by that just personally. And
Yeah.
so quite frankly, it's an unhelpful conversation on all fronts.
You speak for tens of millions, and Matt does, or Matt speaks for at least me, because I just agree with Matt. And again, I don't read the chat. I glance at it. I'm not endorsing the president's tactics or strategy here. I'm just describing what's happening, and I'm saying just what I believe is true, that the administration believes is true. If they just simply tried to engage in diplomacy, the Danes would say, "Pound sand. We're not giving you Greenland. You have no basis to take it." And the president's view is not just for the rare earth minerals and not to be belligerent, but to get Russia and China out of this hemisphere, to make sure that
I,
the United States is not for the next 50 years having to devote blood and treasure to fighting incursions from China and Russia, particularly China in our hemisphere. Now's the time to make a change. Again, that's what they're doing. I'm not endorsing it. I'm just describing what they're doing.
Yeah, I think that's fine, well and good. If the president was serious about taking on Russia and China, he would have a multi-pronged strategy that does not only include taking over Greenland. I am
Yeah.
all for, I say this all the time, I'm on this show. You guys know, I am all for preparing for what's going on in China, and I am all for getting Russia, pushing them back across the line. If that's a part of the strategy, a multi-pronged strategy, I think that's fine, but it's not. And it's haphazard. It's completely in some ways deranged as a conversation. And so if they have a strategy for Russia and for China, then look, let's have a conversation about it. Most Americans would be pro that, but that's not the case.
But I say respectfully, it is the case. That's what Maduro is about. That's what Greenland is about. That's what Ukraine is about. They're trying to find a way to get leverage over China and Russia, and this is a piece of it. Not just the rare earths, but the territorial safety of getting them out of the hemisphere where they're doing all sorts of stuff.
They say that something that's easy is like a walk in the park. Well, easier than a walk in the park, hit the subscribe button, be part of the two-way community, never miss an episode, be part of our conversations. Thank you for your service to America.
And don't forget, you can now listen to the morning meeting and Two Way Tonight on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.